Hello, welcome back. This is Radiant Homes. Again, we are your hosts, Diane and Andrew. We're glad to come now at the point where we are beginning to rebuild these walls. You know, they've been so broken, right?
Yeah, and that's what we discussed in the last show. We looked at broken walls. What are some of the signs or things that lead to brokenness? And today we'd want to start rebuilding the walls, especially around communication
Exactly.
in our homes.
Because communication is one of the areas that we get a lot of brokenness. But there's a good way to start today. Let's call it memories for lasting marriages. Would you want to make good memories? Or let me start by asking, what are those things that make home memorable for you? Like, I don't know, are there specific things that remind you of home? Just those novel things that make home memorable for you. And we have called these memories for lasting marriage. Or if you like, you can think of them as stones of memory.
Or stones of remembrance.
Of remembrance,
you like to call
things
them.
to be remembered.
This is what I like about home, or the
Yeah.
things that make home home. When he wakes up to play the piano, or when we spend time singing, or the days when we are eating together.
There's some Fridays we would fast, and then in the evening when it's Sabbath starting, you know, we come home and there is a lot of good food. One of the things I love about home is good food.
Yeah,
then,
and going to the farm together.
Going to the farm together.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is also something you like about home, or where you grew up.
Did you talk about the cards that you keep working with that I'm sure some could jump out of your notebook?
Yes, he writes me cards and notes. And so sometimes
you have one?
Yeah, I do. I have
okay.
I have one that I've folded up in here. These are the letters he wrote to me.
Hey, I couldn't afford a card.
No.
Okay.
You don't need something expensive to build
to create memory. That's true.
So he just cut out a piece of paper from a notebook and wrote me love notes.
Something that must be remembered. You want that thing to be etched in memory.
Yeah, so and I have somewhere I pile them up at home. So things that just help me to have good memories around him and around home.
And around home.
Yeah.
You see, this is a biblical principle. All the way from Genesis, the Bible has talked about remembering the Sabbath day. Birthday. So you want to remember birthdays of your children. But you know, when I was growing up, now a little bit about my home, then you'll tell me about your home.
Okay.
You see, as we are so many.
Yes.
9 children is not little. So, you know, my mother can't remember my birthday. Even my name, I think sometimes.
She forgets.
Well, before she calls me, she calls all my older brothers, then she arrives at my name. So things like birthday were very unusual.
Yes.
I mean, birthday, who remembers which birthday is which one? So when I met her, we started celebrating birthdays, and I was like, what's all this about?
Yeah.
But it's become one of the best memories. It is important. Does God tell us to lay stones of remembrance? Are there milestones that we need to remember? Does it communicate something to you when someone remembers some detail about you?
Yes, in fact, there is a story I love in the Bible. It's found in Joshua chapter 4, where God specifically asks Joshua to tell the leaders of the children of Israel to put up stones of remembrance at a certain point over the Jordan. And the people asked God, okay, so
Why stones?
Why stones? Why are we putting them here? What will we tell our children? And the answer they were given is, if your children ask you what these stones mean, you will tell them about how God parted the Jordan, how God led you across. You will speak about the victories that God has given in your life. And so God is specifically asking these people to put something to help them to remember. Seemingly, God knows that our minds have a capacity to forget, especially the good things.
But God also knows that our minds have a capacity to remember if they are given cues. And that's why we need stones.
Yes.
Stones are going to stay. I've noticed that around home, you have this behavior of making monuments with stones. I wish we could share. There's one you made, and I thought that was very nice. And then the other day I was doing another hedge, and I put stones. And there is a way stones have a way of carving out good memories. Even the building of a house itself is a stone of remembrance. So today we would like to talk to you about this. What are the challenges then of laying such stones, or what else were you thinking about?
I was thinking just before that.
Before the challenge, I'll hold
why,
that.
why do we actually need memories?
Why do we need memories?
In the first place?
Of course, I don't want to forget you. You know, the world has a way of crowding important things out of our mind. In one of the previous shows, we talked about love maps. You could go back and watch it. How to create cognitive space for your spouse, for your children, for your family in your mind. If you don't deliberately create things that remind you of those things. I have a colleague who has a good table, and on her table she has the pictures of all her children laughing. I don't know what that does for her when she's in the office.
Yeah.
Just nice photos. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick one of your photos and put it in my office. I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, not your office anyway, but we'll talk about that. I think memory gives you a form of identity.
Identity.
When you remember where you have come from, you can say, I was born in this village. This is what this village did for me. This is where I am going. So it gives you also a sense of direction.
Belonging. Let's talk about identity first, because one of the sincere meaning of family is to give you belonging. And a lot of people today don't feel family is what it is because we don't communicate belonging. We don't entrench this in people's minds. And it's an important thing.
Yes.
These are just words we are letting you to start using, but what you need to know is communicate in every way that you belong here, not just by putting a picture of the husband in the home, but also communicating that this is your place by other actions and every other demeanor.
You've helped me to remember that sometimes when somebody does not have memory, it's not the greatest sight to watch. Like a patient who has dementia, for example.
Dementia is loss of memory?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't know who they are, who the other people are, where they belong, and sometimes people get lost just because their memory is gone. And in this life, people get lost when they have no memory or sense of belonging concerning their home. And so my question to you would be, how do you build memories?
Yeah, we need to know the steps of building memories for lasting homes. Maybe we need to start by... I have this wonderful thought that there are 3 basic needs of a child. Number 1, food.
Number 2,
affection. Number 3, rhythm or routine. I didn't know that. That's according to the international bodies that deal with children. That apart from food and affection, people need rhythm, repetition, and that's where to start. Routine. That's where to start. Repetition works on memory, even in learning. You want to learn something,
impression.
You say that right.
Yes.
Repetition deepens impression. Are there things you do and do and do until people know that you will do? For when you come from the altar, you say, I do. The question is, you are not saying, I have done. No, it's not, I will do once. It is a continuous repetition. For children to grow well in a home, you need to start from routines. That's where to begin. Identify those things that you can always do. Do you know we got routines? For example, I wake up and I know there will always be breakfast time. Very important routine for our home. Yeah, you need routines around food. For food comes with good things, good
memories,
good memories. Yeah.
So you, especially around food, sorry for interrupting, around food there's eating together.
Yeah.
And praying together at mealtime, and just sitting together, even if you're not talking to one another. Mealtime is one of the best time to build memories. And I know
for lasting marriage.
Yes, sometimes you find, especially when children become teenagers, they may want to sit in their rooms, eat at their own time. and everyone runs their own schedule. But it is important that we try and eat together as far as possible.
So I think routines can help in engraving that memory until someone knows, at 9 o'clock, I don't need to take my phone. It's not news time, it's devotion time. Until it just gets locked in as a good memory. But also you want memories around church and worship, because this is a way of now extending what you do at home to the outside world, and also bringing in a world of faith inside your home. You don't want to be erratic. Today you went to this church, the other day you went to the other church. You want people to grow up with a community of believers around them, with certain rhythms and timings that you always go, and activities that you do. Our home is known for ministry, for mission. So, but we also merge the church things with the things that build our home. When we, let's say, have gone out, we try to create a memory out there, and things like that.
Now, in regard to church, the church also has certain traditions, if I should call them, or cultures that are important for spiritual memory.
Yeah.
And when you engage in them as a family, you tap into that spiritual memory.
For example.
So, for example, Jesus asked the disciples when they were doing the Last Supper, he told them, do this in remembrance
Of me.
Of me.
So even Holy Communion can bring memory.
Yes.
But don't just eat Holy Communion. Also go out to Mombasa for couples retreat. Do you remember the memories we got of the last couples retreat?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to some other place, just join the church. But also, I have seen that milestones are another place to start. Let's say your child is moving to another stage. Somebody is graduating. That's a good place to begin locking memory, so that people in the home know if there is any milestone, there will be some celebration. There'll be some celebration here. So that's where we can start, apart from doing things like just reading together at home, cooking together, and many small things that don't have to be expensive, but they communicate value, they communicate identity. What else do good memories communicate apart from identity? Because there's something you're talking to me about, purpose and destiny.
Oh, when you have good memories, it can give you a sense of purpose and where you are going. Yeah. When you remember where you have come from. Let's say you came from poverty, for example. And when you remember that, it gives you impetus to work harder so that you don't go back to where you have come from. And that's why building good memory is critically important. And he mentioned something about vacations. And I would want to ask him, because one of the questions we are often asked is, how do you guys manage to go on vacation? We are not rich, but
we are not poor.
Okay. But somehow God has been gracious and helped us to plan. And I would want you to share, how can families manage to plan simple holidays or things that just help them to celebrate? And the rules here are no bad memories, no complaints, just fun.
Just fun. Let's start from vacation as one thing that can be a hallmark for memory. You know why it's important for you is just to take time off from your daily schedules, off from what you have to attend to every day, the repetitive things of life. But we think that if you can take time off, you will find a lot of benefits. Before I tell you how to, one of the benefits is just to recharge. The proportions were given in the creation of the world. 6 days you shall work, and the 7th day rest. Now that work and rest ratio is something that needs to be carried into life. That don't work throughout, but also don't rest throughout. Life is not all vacation. So if I have worked so hard for 6-7 months, it's just reasonable that I take time off. Your employers give you leave. Okay, leave means prepare to leave. Some people work so hard that during leave days they are at work. No, take time off to see how would life be. You refine your thoughts away from the routines of every day. So vacations are not just for memory, but vacations are for rebuilding you as a person, refueling. Maybe you are tired and your marriage is even going to break because you're working so hard. This is where to start thinking about vacation. Maybe you're working in a job you don't like. Vacation will help you to think through, is it worth it? I'm losing my health. I'm losing my family. But now the question, how to make it work?
One, I remember where we started. He would come up with objectives for every vacation. So you
Objectives.
find there are spiritual vacations where we are taking time to, let's say, attend a camp meeting or attend a retreat, a church retreat.
Right.
That is one form of vacation
Yeah.
where you start with an agenda. It could be just for reflection. You know, you're taking time off work to sleep and recover. And there is no sin in resting. Jesus, looking at the disciples one time, told them, you come rest a while.
little while.
Yeah. So you need an objective for vacations that you go for.
So the
Yeah.
first best objective is just to recalibrate, to rethink, to rest. But also, you talked about spiritual vacations, or let's say your church is doing some, like I mentioned, let's say the couples are going for a retreat. I would think that is a good excuse, a very good excuse. But now we come to the points of the how of planning. Is that right? We could talk about the plannings, where for us it works right from in our financial budget. There is tithe, there is money we use for everyday's grocery, there is transport money and every other thing. Then there's a little one there called vacation. If it doesn't show up, vacation will not show up. You need to plan it. So we have a little budget there called vacation. And you can start with small amount, and you don't have to go to exotic places. If you are creative, you can find someone who can house your entire household, and they give you, a bed that your children can stay the other side and things like that. You can rearrange maybe once you can do a getaway, depending on what works for you. You can even carry your food. Lately, there is Airbnb. People can go and cook. Just the feeling that, okay, now we are getting away from home. You know how kids love those moments.
Yes, and the importance of getting away from home is you don't want negative memories around the home. And so sometimes when there is an issue at home, it might be more appropriate to carry that discussion somewhere.
And that's the time you get to sit and talk.
Yeah, you sit and talk, and if you have to, quarrel from there. Then when you come home, you find the home is left free for good memories. So the bad memories are left outside.
And then you can also plan that's the time where you just want to take an opportunity. We do this a lot. If you pick some of our journals, you'll find on a time we are out on vacation, we come to, just plan out what's going to happen with our life.
Okay.
And we would like to take a little break at this point, but when we come back, we will come to discuss how then shall we implement some of these things in our home to build those memories for lasting homes. We hope that you will keep your homes radiant, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Radiant Homes, where today we are exploring the benefits of memories for lasting homes. You want to make your home radiant? Splash around it good memories. And just before we took the break, we were looking at, okay, now vacations can make for us good memories. But the process of planning them, we don't have time, we don't have money, but we said if you begin with an objective, then you can organize a budget around it.
Yeah.
You want to look for time that everybody is around or the people that you want to be with are available. Talk to me about this extent of planning. There's still a lot that we can do to make vacations achievable for every family.
So, for example, when it comes to time, we've learned that sometimes it makes more budgetary sense to plan a vacation when it's off peak. So, for example, he likes saying that the distance between Nairobi and Kisii is still the same in May as it would be in December. So the only difference is the cost. The transport in December will increase. But if you take the same trip in May, it might be cheaper for you. So the timing is important, that you plan for trips off peak, because you'll find very good offers in off peak seasons.
That's hold your thought there. That's a very good stewardship principle. And on things that you don't have to do, but you should have to do. You want to do them at very low cost. So the principle here is you buy a summer necessity in winter. We do that a lot. For example, I buy my hoodies when it is very hot because they'll be very cheap. Book your tickets early. You will find that they are so affordable that everybody can go for vacation. You don't have to worry about budget.
Yeah.
Can we aggregate our budgets? If I have a house, if I have a family that have the same values as ours, and that being a big number reduces the cost. Is that another?
That's the other way. You can choose people whom you'd want to spend time with,
Right.
or people who you're learning from, or people who you're walking together in the journey of life.
You
all
have
right?
reminded me, there are times we just call some couples who have helped us in our marriage. And we are not just, calling them to visit when they have had something bad. We're just calling to go and burn maize. How is that translated in Swahili? Choma mahindi. You just sit, it's fireside.
Roasting maize,
Not
you
burn,
meant.
roast.
Yes.
Yeah, fireside. So you want to look out for people who you can just visit them. Let's say you are a young couple or you are dating. You can identify this older couple and ask them, can we come and visit one overnight? And you get the nuggets. And by that, it plows some good memories into your relationship.
And
maybe you have children. And I'll hold that thought. I will still say it.
Vacations make sense
Yeah.
when it is possible to repeat them.
That is point. Let me write that. Possible to repeat.
So if I do something this year which I can't afford to repeat next year, then it's not very
Memory.
practical. It gives you one good memory, but it doesn't build the bank. You want to do something that you can keep repeating until somebody thinking about home thinks that, oh, every December we'd take a holiday to this place or we'd travel to this place. So repetition. And that's one of the things we have learned to do, that every week we must spend time together. And so sometimes we spend our lunches together. And when I've not cooked lunch for that date, what we do is eat at a cheap kiosk. We call them kibandaski. Yeah.
Kibandaski lunch.
So we do our kibandaski lunches, and it is meaningful that we can walk to the kibandaski, order food together, and tell the people at the kibandaski.
They know these guys are always going to come together.
Yes.
They actually think we work together, but we don't. But something else now. I was thinking about a family that has children, and you don't want, when it gets a bit more bigger and bulky when you're many. But suppose you had another family, maybe they have older children who can mentor your children.
Yeah.
That kind of association will help you, making things easier. And our homes should be easy for people to walk in. I don't remember to count. I can't count how many people have just come to our home to just eat. To just eat as we talk. And we didn't notice that for some of them it makes very good memories, but they also didn't remember, they didn't know it makes for us very good memories. So those are some of the ways. You don't have to go out there and pay a hotel. You can have friends that make it easy for you. Then you make relevant, repeatable times. Yeah, and to to redo these vacations.
That said, we can't ignore the fact that sometimes our memories are flooded by bad.
Are we going to talk about that part? You know, I've been running away from it. See,
Why are you running away from bad memories?
bad memories. You really want us? Okay, well, bad memories are part of life.
Yes. So what should we do? Okay, what first of all gives you bad memories?
Now you see, like if you are from a home where people are fighting, that's bad memory. Where people talk in capital letters, bad memory. Where there is infidelity, bad memory. Where you are neglected, just bad memory.
Okay.
And we don't want bad memories. Maybe we want to look at how to deal with the unpleasantness of life so that it doesn't repeat, so that it doesn't form memories. Is that a good thing to talk about?
It is, and I've just thought about it. You know, you've gone through the list of things that form bad memories, and I was thinking bad words or words that were never spoken or unspoken. For example, you find a teenager or somebody who's just joined campus speaking about how they fell in love with the wrong person because in their home, nobody ever told them that I love you.
I am proud of
Or
you.
I am proud
They
of
never
you.
had mom or dad say that.
Yes. So
But maybe they remember with accuracy some stinging word mom said
yes.
that you will never amount to anything. I wonder why our brains remember with accuracy all those bad words.
The brain somehow has a way of remembering all the negative things, and sometimes at home we take one another for granted. I like saying that when you're outside the home, you're in church or at work, it is easy for you to be more courteous with colleagues or your bosses than with your spouse, you know, because you're used to one another. How many times do you say, please pass me the salt? Or is it,
So pleasantness
You know?
makes home memorable.
yes.
And you see, there's a friend of mine who I asked in an interview, what do you remember about home? And he told me something I've never forgotten. That my mom has always treated my dad has always treated my mom with a lot of respect. That's the thing he remembers. A lot of you remember how your moms have treated your dad with, you can feel it for yourself. But let's assume it's respect. Yeah. Those are good memories. They just go deeper and deeper. So we want to make a balance that we do away with bad memories.
Yeah, there is a principle when it comes to bad memories. Sometimes I like to say you can write it down somewhere, and after writing all the bad memories, you can tear the paper up. But Jesus shows us the principle of dealing with bad memories.
Where to write bad memories.
Yeah.
There's a place.
He doesn't put it on stone. One time, there was a woman caught in adultery and was brought before Jesus.
That was bad memory.
Yeah, and while people were accusing, Jesus decides to write, you know, things on sand. I don't know if he was writing about the lady or the sins of the people around, but it was not good things. And the things that were not good, God did not put them on stone. Only good things did Jesus write on stone.
Like the commandments.
Exactly.
So that we can remember them. So that we can avoid going into danger. I think if you have something fair to say at home, you want to engrave it with good words, with positive words, with good energy, with encouragement. It is B.F. Skinner, who the scientist who has done a lot of experiments with animals. He found out that even animals with positive reinforcement, they learn better. They learn good behaviors faster than just waiting for them to do a bad behavior. Then you punish.
Like what he does with our dog. We have a dog, it's called Spicer. So whenever Spicer does a good thing, he'll
You
pat
reward.
it and say, good dog, Spicer. And somehow you'll always find Spicer trying to repeat so that it can be told the same words. Yeah?
I wonder, maybe for human beings it must be much better if we look at it.
Yeah.
But friends, as we come to the close, I still wanted to think about other things that can retain memory. which is not just words we use, but even our outlook, the way we try to be courteous with people, the way we shine for office, we beat look, it's called piga luku in Kiswahili, for the office, because you want to be remembered in a certain way.
Yeah.
And today I tried to dress in a way of memory.
Oh, yeah.
This coat has memories.
Okay. I hear
Wives, you need to dress. Now there are wives who dress sengenge, ningombe at home. Funny clothes. You create bad memory. Your hair, you've just left it. Please make the home tidy, including yourself. Brush teeth. They said you brush teeth in the morning for your friends and in the evening for your teeth. Shower in the morning for your friends. Shower in the evening for your health. There is a way in which the outlook of the home, the outlook of the people of the home. How do you feel when your son is out there and is shining? He's dressed up sharply. Your husband is, he's just looking nice. My wife is looking nice. That is good memory. Don't forget outlook in memory. However, God has memory of us.
Yes.
And he keeps them deliberately. God remembers. He remembers the things we have done. He remembers our frailty.
Yes.
The psalmist says. He remembers that we are dust. Wouldn't it be good time right now to just collect even sometimes some of those bad memories and take it to him? God is a master of even redesigning our memory. He says, the former things I will remember no more, And we should also forget bad things that we have done for each other and build fresh memories.
Yeah.
Until next time, what will you do?
We shall remember good things.
Uh-huh.
We shall remember what the Lord has done for us.
That's true.
We shall remember to celebrate and put a stone of remembrance for everything that God has done for our families. God bless you.
And remember to keep your home radiant.